People are always so curious what to do, what stretches to do when someone has a lower back pain. Now, a lot of people experience lower back pain on many different levels throughout their lifetime. This is not an unusual phenomenon. What are steps that you should try doing, and what are the things that you perhaps don't really want to test right away? When you experience some sort of instability in your back, and this is the best way to describe it, because it's not really hurting majorly, but you're kind of careful how you have to move, and you're not quite sure if you can move to a certain position, and then the pain that you feel, it kind of lingers for a while. So when you experience that back pain, one of the worst things in my humble experience, being a practitioner, working with a lot of lower back pain patients, is that you go at it with everything you got. In my experience, the best thing to do is leave it alone a little tiny bit. Meaning, no massage, no chiropractic, no stretching, just relax and rest. Let's say if I had a lower back pain episode, I would just spend a little bit more time resting on my back. Just like this, easy and simple. You might think, okay, yeah, well, whatever, this is not what I was looking for. You know what the funny thing is? That right up until really the 70s, whenever someone had lower back pain, your local doctor, even in the Western world, would give you this recommendation. Just rest. Based on the severity of your lower back pain, they would prescribe to you 2 days rest, or 1 week rest, or 3 weeks rest. So this was the norm. And as soon as we started to develop all these modern technologies, we started to emphasize therapy. The interesting thing is, please, don't take my word for it. Just look into this a little bit. Healing the lower back pain
without invasive surgeries.
The therapies that they used prior to 1970 and after 1970, effectiveness-wise, exactly the same. Oh, I'm sure that a lot of people are going to be really questioning this. Don't misunderstand me. If there is a good therapist will always help your healing. Doesn't matter what it is, they will always speed up the healing. But just like with any other profession, there are people who are really good at healing and there are people who are not so good. Just like in banking, there are some great bankers and there are some, not so great bankers. Every industry is the same. I'm not talking about a very good healer helping you to resolve the underlying etiology of the pain and the problem, because lower back problems have multiple different layers to them. There's a physical aspect to it, but there is also an emotional, psychological aspect to it. A good healer will be able to address systematically the aspect of the imbalance, which is the most important on day one. The reason I'm saying the most important, because oftentimes what happens, and I've seen this with athletes, as soon as they have some sort of injury to the back or any injuries period, they immediately want to have the stretches, the fascia work, the soft tissue work, massage therapy, cold therapy, everything. The first 4 or 5 days when pain shows up, in my experience, it is just easier simply taking it easy and rest. And just to clarify, when I say rest, I don't mean sitting, I mean laying down. Sitting is not very good for the structure of your lower back. It's something very abnormal. Sitting in the way I sit right now in this Airstream, it's not very good for the back. Now, if you have a healthy back,
you can get by with sitting like that.
But if you experience some sort of discomfort, the answer is laying down and resting. Now, this is the simple one tool that I would recommend for anyone experiencing lower back pain. Entertain the idea of resting and relaxing, laying down. Hopefully this is an idea you never really thought about, yet you might find it useful because it's easy. Yes, no one is gonna make money on you resting, but it might just be the key to you figure it out. So resting, the number one, and number two, make sure you hydrate yourself. A lot of physiological pain shows up due to dehydration. I know, this seems, again, oversimplifying a solution, but why don't you just test it? Rest and hydrate. About 80% of any human illness that people go to see a doctor with could be resolved simply hydrating properly the individual. Hydration is key. Drink half of your body weight in ounces. When you do that, believe it or not, you're really increasing the chance to resolving your back problem in a cheap, affordable, time-efficient way. Get the job done and don't break the bank in the process while you're doing it. Take care, guys. I hope this was somewhat helpful. Think about it. Send me notes. You know what? And just Google it. Just check into it as much as you can. Talk to a good therapist and ask them what they think about this. And I think you might find much more support towards this idea than one would think. Bye.